mean, there's never been a more clear indicator of how you should fight Israel Adesanya than Robert Whitaker between fight 1 and fight 2. Kelvin Gastelum is the only person that survived when he's been a bit reckless. And then by the end of the 5th round, he was about to get finished. So you can only do so much against Adesanya. You have to be patient. You have to be okay with the crowd not really enjoying the fight, because if you do too much, you end up like Robin fight 1, where he got destroyed in 2 rounds. Then in fight 2, he fought more patient, lost 3 rounds to 2. Some people thought he won. I wasn't one of those people. Yoel Romero somehow won 2 rounds. They just did nothing. But then if you fight a lot, you end up like Paulo Costa, right? So it's not on Izzy. It's on the opponents, and the smart opponents need to be in the boring fight against Adesanya, because he's too good a counter striker. He won't lead. If you just kind of stay with Izzy, he will just stand with you.
So I'm excited to watch it. I know that much. I'm excited for this whole card. I think it's going to be great. But, I think Adesanya is really hard to beat right now. But Pereira he's the most game opponent, I feel. So I'm just excited to see what happens.
Awesome. And obviously, since you've been training with Glover, you've been training with Alex Pereira a bit. Do you have any thoughts on how he I assume you're going to side with him, but how do you think he gets it done against Israel?
Man United. Yeah, he's going to win. I don't know how he's going to win. It's probably going to be a knockout, to be honest. He's a monster.
I got to go with Stylebender. I think Stylebender's the man. He's the man for a reason. And I know he's lost to this guy twice, but this is a mixed martial arts fight, so it's going to be different.
He's a very, very high level kickboxer. So but I mean, I still feel like Izzy's, especially where Izzy is now. I think Izzy's evolved so much, and I believe he's still the same fighter, which is still incredible, right? Like he's one of the top kickboxers. So Pereira's still a killer, but Izzy's just going to be too good for him, I think. And, he's going to be aggressive. Pereira's definitely going to come forward. And I think he's pretty hittable as well, because he relies on them hands. He invites you to throw and catches you coming in, especially with them big left hooks. But we all know Izzy's good at landing and not letting you land back. So that's just his style. So I don't think he can change that. And I know Izzy is definitely going to have that fight. He's got the fight IQ, and he's definitely going to have the range control, and even in the pocket, I feel like he's going to be even more dangerous.
That's a dangerous fight, man. I can see Izzy countering him, because Pereira is preaching that he's going to bring the fight to Izzy, and if he does that, we've seen what he did to Robert Whitaker, being reckless. He could counter strike very, very well, and that could be the difference in that fight. As Pereira takes his time. It only takes one, the great equalizer, that old faithful lefty that he has. And he's been doing some great work with Glover Teixeira. But I do think Izzy's going to grapple him a bit, push him against the cage, and try to slow him down, so to speak. He's a big dude, man. That guy's massive. He's stood next to Dominic Reyes, and I was really blown away at the frames, because I didn't know who was the light heavyweight at that point. But I'm leaning towards Izzy, but I've been in the sport long enough to know that anything can happen. But the same way people gave me no chance to beat Jan, which was just like laughable. But it's going to be a great fight. I think the fans are going to be in for a good show this time, because I think Pereira is going to keep true to his word and really push the pace and bring a good fight. So I think this one might end in a knockout.
What's important for Alex is winning the moments that aren't necessarily big. So just those big explosive moments in kickboxing, that's where Pereira has won. He knocked him out. But if you look over the entirety of those fights, Adesanya had a lot of success, right? So if you're not winning those in-betweens, you're losing the fight. And I think Alex needs to have made some adjustments to win those moments where big things aren't happening, so that Izzy's not just kind of going away with rounds.
Alex ready, man. He's sharp, and he's conditioned. He's strong. He look amazing, man. He look better than ever. The way he dropping the weight this time, the way he's focused, the discipline that he put for this, he's ready to get that belt. He's ready to be a champion.
Glover.
Man, I thought about that, and it's a fight of two different words. Yeah, like two different styles, two different people, absolutely. And I'm very like this matchup. And like I'm everything saying, let the better win. Let the better win. If okay, I know I'm sharing the management with Izzy, but I'm looking forward for this fight. I will be not there. I will be in Vegas to finish my preparation because that's the most important thing for me. And but I'm looking forward for this fight. I just want to see if the Izzy, if he made a step up to prove that he's better than his life opponent or another thing. Doesn't matter. I'm very curious for that fight.
Like there's lots of pressure on Israel, but he's the champ. But I feel that he's totally different fighter and a man right now than he used to be. So Pereira is going to face totally different opponent on Saturday. I'm not worrying about.
I'm excited to watch it. I mean, I love fighting. I'm a huge fan of this sport. I've been to some Izzy fights, quite a few. I love the guy. I really do, but I always tell myself I'm never going to go back to one of his fights. But, you know, you cannot hate on somebody that's a winner, and that man's a winner.
I think Adesanya can pull it off.
I think if you look at history with Israel, every person that hasn't really given him shit or given him grief at any point has sort of gone to a decision. But every time that somebody's picked at him and really rocked him up and pissed him off, he's sort of rolled through them. So obviously Pereira has a special place in Izzy's heart. And I think, Izzy's going to finish him.
I think it's just an exciting matchup, right? I mean, you know, he's coming, whenever somebody beats you, you have to have like a different mindset going into that fight. I wonder if there's any fear going into it. It's definitely like an exciting matchup because Izzy's obviously like a stand-up fighter too. So definitely expecting a war, that's for sure.
I think it's a super interesting fight considering Alex beat him twice, I believe, already. And I mean, obviously it's a different sport, but it's what Adesanya is strong at and what he's been beating everyone with, his striking. So I think it's definitely an interesting fight. I'm curious how Adesanya is going to approach it, if he's going to maybe try to grapple someone that has beat him striking before.
Prediction for the main event, I think, there's so much intrigue surrounding this because Israel Adesanya has looked so unbeatable in so many different ways, whether it be his strategy or whether it be his dominance, his technique and his skill. But then you look at a guy like Alex Pereira, who's seemingly, a lot of people would say, have his number because he's down or he's up 2-0 against him. But I think Izzy still gets the job done. I think this is a different sport than kickboxing. I do think Pereira has looked dominant thus far, and he is a phenomenal talent. Great shot with a bow. We keep seeing that, so it's really, I think Izzy gets the job done. I do. I think Izzy knows how to win. I think Izzy is a phenomenally skilled fighter. Pereira is a very dangerous fighter, but we've seen how that goes numerous times. Izzy.
Man, it's going to be a tough fight, crazy fight. I hope the Brazilian wins, but I don't know. Adesanya is too good. Adesanya is evolving too much. His kickboxing for MMA is different because I feel like people who fight kickboxing, sometimes they don't move a lot. They just block and try to counter. And Adesanya is more like he like a lot of feints and all that stuff. So I don't know how this plays out. I hope the Pereira wins, but it's going to be a tough night for him.